God of War Ragnarok. I've been playing this for about a week, maybe a week and a half. As I was playing this, I realized some friends of mine were having problems with certain areas of this game. So I thought I would quickly do a quick run through of what I have played through so far and kind of touch on spots where I think people may be struggling. This, unfortunately, in God of War, there's no way to skip cutscenes, and some of them are very long, and I wanted to try to keep this video short. And I wanted to try to touch on the bosses that I have faced, while at the same time trying not to reveal too much as far as spoilers. So let's get started. The beginning of the game is pretty straightforward. Kratos will eventually set out on his own. He will go through the woods and enter this cave. As soon as you climb up here and exit the cave, you will be in your first boss battle. Make sure, and you will be comfortable with rolling at this point. Just make sure you're comfortable rolling right, left, back, or forward, depending on which directional button you're mashing. Of course, the X button. Like previous God of War games, when the enemy glows red, his attacks are unblockable. That means get out of dodge. Yellow attacks are parried with your shield if timed correctly. If not, his shield will be thrown back behind him and he'll be vulnerable to a quick attack or two. If it looks like the enemy's going to get in a quick hit, you can quickly roll out of the way. Now, this beginning enemy will charge you, so be ready for that. Quickly roll to the side, get behind him, and just start wailing away like so. After this battle, you will head home. Now, when you walk back into your house, there'll be a long cutscene, and boss battle number 2 will begin. This battle will take you across 3 different battle maps. First one's pretty straightforward, like with the Prologue boss. Just stay away from his red attacks, try to parry the yellow ones. The second battle map, it will begin with Kratos picking up a tree and hitting the enemy with it. This is the game's way of telling you that you can actually do this during the fight. There will be 3 trees on the left and 3 trees on your right. You can interact with the trees in the middle. And only the middle. It doesn't matter which difficulty you're playing as. I've already tried this both ways. You can't be standing too close to the trees because the boss's attacks will destroy the tree before you get a chance to use it. So stand about as close as I am with this tree right here. Wait for the boss to charge you. Quickly roll to the left, hit square, boom. You'll instantly take a chunk of his health away. Quickly go to the tree on the other side. Same pattern. Roll, square, boom. Automatically, he'll get 2 sections of his health took away. In the third battle map, the only thing worthy of note there is like he has an area attack. You'll notice sections of the ground start to glow red. If you run through these, you will be temporarily immobilized. So just run around them, kind of like so. And as soon as you get close, just start wailing away. This will immediately break the attack. Spots on the ground will disappear. Now, after this battle, you and Atreus will start off on a mission. You will be about here, and as Kratos climbs this, boss battle number 3 will initiate. Now, Atreus will actually be fighting with you for this one. As soon as the battle starts, you will notice that the enemy has horns. So use your axe to do a quick attack to hit the horns like so. As soon as you hit the horns, the enemy will instantly go down. Quickly rush him, and as you're hitting your attack button, hit square as well. That way Atreus will be hitting him with his arrows at the same time you're attacking him. This will make his health go down much quicker. He will eventually get back up and fire some arrows around you, so make sure you're rolling out of the way of those accordingly. He'll do like a arrow volley, so just make sure you're rolling away and just repeat. Now, eventually you will hit an area where you get a choice of a shield upgrade. You have a choice between the Dauntless Shield and the here is where there will be a long cutscene, and then you'll eventually get your choice of a Dauntless Shield or a Stonewall Shield. The Dauntless Shield is more of an offensive shield. The Stonewall is more focused on defense. So the Dauntless Shield has a very strong offensive attack. Both shields can be parried, and they will start to glow yellow. This means that you can use, when they glow yellow, tap L1 twice, and you can use it for a counter attack. Pretty much a free runic attack, if you will. If you time it perfectly, it will glow red for a stronger attack. Now, the Dauntless Shield, like I said, it is more of an offensive shield. It actually has a strong power attack that will knock enemies backwards, and I've used the Dauntless Shield to knock enemies off cliffs. It has that strong of an attack. The Stonewall Shield is more of a ground attack. It's not going to be as strong as the Dauntless Shield as far as attacks go, but it will damage all the enemies in the area. However, the thing that makes the Stonewall Shield enticing is that it will block yellow attacks without breaking your guard. The Dauntless Shield will not. So there's pros and cons to each one. I personally went with the Dauntless Shield just because, but it can be kind of tricky to time the attacks with it. But it's just personal preference. You can kind of play around with both shields and see which ones work for you. After this, you will find yourself in the land of the dwarfs. You will start out in this canoe, and you'll be going along this canal waterway, and you will eventually find your way to these gates that need to be opened. The first one that really makes you think is this one. You will notice that there is a geyser already open. This one will need to be open. Now, you notice that your cursor is a single dot. Notice as soon as I aim it at the water, it changes to blue and up and down arrows. This means that whatever I hit the frost axe with will instantly freeze it. And you don't have to frost your axe. You just have to aim, boom. Now the trick is to freeze this one to build up pressure in this one to hit the wheel. However, like you can't hit it from where you're currently at. So you need to get to a higher vantage point. So just climb up here. And actually forgot about these guys, so let me kill these guys real quick. I turned down the difficulty so on this run through so I could get to these areas quicker. Oh, okay.
Everywhere.
So now at this vantage point, I can freeze that. Sometimes they have to line it up, wait for the arrows to change. Geyser will rise, gate will open. Now the next one I want to touch on, you will eventually find your way into this dwarven mining pit. And this kind of covers a lot of subjects that I want to touch on all at once. So that's why I chose this particular location. Now, when you start this world, you will notice that always pay attention to where Atreus is looking and what he is saying. He will help you find stuff that you would otherwise miss. So always be paying attention to where he is looking, because it helped me find something out of the way when I first started this world. Eventually you will find these gold and colored rocks. These can be destroyed with an explosive. It's usually in a pretty obvious location like these are. Sometimes they're behind the rocks where you can't hit them. You will have to travel along an alternate path to get behind them to hit the explosives to clear them. Now, sometimes they will have enemies pop out, kind of like these. I'm usually much better at hitting them with my axe than what I am right now, but anyway. Ugh, gosh, I've never been so terrible at hitting them with my axe, but you can melee them too. Now, one thing I would like to... There will eventually be a favor where you will find yourself climbing on this beast. This beast will have golden colored rocks, kind of like these. That you will eventually find a bomb pedestal where you can get access to portable bombs that you can throw to clear the golden colored rocks on this beast. So be looking for that bomb pedestal when you do that particular quest.
So,
Trust me, you will know it when you start it.
It's just a word. I've heard way worse than that.
The word does not matter. You lost control.
We were falling through the air. I thought we were gonna die.
Is that what you truly wish your last word to be?
No.
In moments of crisis, panic does nothing. Harness it. Let it serve you.
Now you'll come down here. You'll notice this cart is blocking your way.
Look on the ground.
So
Tracks.
you need to stop the water from hitting the wheel.
We need to
So
get past this cargo.
make sure you hit it about right here. Aim. Boom. Goes down. You can instantly get
Let's
across.
head across.
Now from here you will eventually enter the mine. There's two puzzles that I would like to touch on really quickly. This is the first one that you will really kind of make you think a little bit when you enter the mine. I kind of found the solution to this really quickly only because I like to explore off the beaten path before I go in the direction of
There's
the
a
main
broken door
quest.
up to the left behind
It's
this
just the
crane.
way I
Maybe Tyr tried to
play.
escape. We should look.
So when you go here, immediately come down here. Climb up this chain. Use your chains to block the water here so it runs off into the canal underneath, raising the elevator. Go back to the...
I think that should keep the lift fully powered up. We're almost there.
Now aim your axe on top, just above that wheel. Water will roll down. This will raise. Jump across. Recall your axe.
Be up there in no time.
Now that water is running here and activating this wheel, freeze it right there. Elevator will lower.
That's it. Come on. Let's take that lift up. Tyr can't be far.
I don't know why I can't just hop over that, but anyway. Now, recall your axe.
New exercise.
Elevator will
Let's
rise.
think about how Tyr's probably feeling locked.
So, the next one in the mine that I want to briefly touch on is... This one involves, like, soundstones. And you should already be familiar with soundstones at this up until this point. I thought I saved it closer than this. Now, want to briefly go over soundstones. Of course, with the frost, just look for the arrows to turn green, up or down. No matter where Atreus is standing, if he's behind a corner, he'll shoot through the walls to hit the soundstone. So it doesn't matter where Atreus is, he'll always be able to hit it. Now, be prepared when you go through this door, because there is a Draugr hole, and it's pretty tough. So be prepared for that. Come over here.
Should be clear now. Ready when you are.
I was born ready.
One more door. That one
So
has to be it.
this one can be a little intimidating.
Seems like we'll have to get to
First
it
and foremost, you want to get Atreus up here.
Climb across. Look for another way.
So as he's climbing over there, you'll jump
I
back
think I see
here.
Frank over here.
Hit your axe
Atreus.
about right
Another
here.
way exercise.
Well, actually, make sure the water is making the wheel turn.
And any desire to prove themselves.
Hit square. Atreus will release the sound stones. Now don't have Atreus hit them.
Why does that matter?
Wait for them to build up behind that
Did the right thing.
block,
War does not measure the strength of a man.
and it will jam up. You can recall your axe. And then use your axe here. This will raise. You can shimmy go across like so. Now have Atreus hit them. It will explode.
I'll meet you at
Boom.
the door.
You're across. The only other thing I want to touch on here is before you exit the mine, you'll face this like giant. It's not really a boss, kind of like a sub boss, really. But just kind of stick to the pattern, avoid red attacks, pare yellow. There will be smaller enemies around the area, so don't get caught up in their attacks. Just try to stay moving. Sometimes the ground around you will glow red, like when they're about to explode. You can try to lure the enemies to those spots to try to get them caught up in the explosion. Just don't get caught up in the explosions yourself. But just keep moving and you should be fine. That's really the only other thing I want to touch on here in the Dwarven world. Now, after the Dwarven world, Atreus will set out on a mission without Kratos. You will be back in Midgard.
We're blocked.
Now,
Maybe I'm
Sindri
too
will be
extra
with
to
you.
hear.
Find
Here.
a way through, and I'll tell you.
I'm on it.
Now here, like he can still do Soundstone. Just look for the bluish green. L2 and R2 simultaneously. Aim. Boom.
But the path's still blocked.
Now you still can't get
I don't see
access
any more
here.
on this side.
Hold on.
You'll have to backtrack
Let me
a little
look
bit.
around. Maybe I need a different angle.
So climb up here. Now you can also hit these and cause them to explode. You can kind of see the bluish green in the barrels, so be on the lookout for those as well. You can kind of hit this from this side. Boom.
So Tyr's arm.
Your father owed Thora.
Now, and I wanted to quickly pause that for spoilers. Now, Sindri can actually help you in battle. After you pass by this next area, you'll go through there. You'll be hitting enemies for a while, and eventually it will. You'll be able to hit the square button to help Sindri. Sindri will be able to help you in battle, kind of like the way Atreus helps Kratos in battle. Sometimes he'll throw bombs. Sometimes he'll throw these attacks, different attacks. So make sure that you are using him to help you. And that's really the only thing that I want to touch on with Atreus' mission. And that pretty much summarizes what I've done so far. I am currently on the Elven world, so I'll be doing a quick video of that after I've done that one in maybe another world or two. Like I said, I was wanting to keep these videos somewhat short. So hopefully this has helped somebody out, and I'll see you on the next broadcast.